Yes, you sound good today. Some weeks you don't sound this good. Sometimes, especially this section over here, you're all right. And hey, welcome to the Flatters. Hey, let's pray together, and then let's jump into God's word. So, Lord, we come in, we sing that song, and you're the breath in our lungs. And some of us, that really describes where we are right now. Like, I'm just trying to get one more breath. I'm just trying to get one more step. I'm just trying to make it one more day. And I don't know what tomorrow holds, but today's overwhelming. And so we came in here to look for peace, and we came to look for some hope, maybe a little joy. And so, God, here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up your word, and we're going to find all those things, because in your word we find Jesus. And so we're going to ask what we ask for every time that we walk into this place. Will you take Jesus and put him right beside our real, everyday, sometimes hard lives, connect those things together so that when we walk out of here about half an hour from now, will you help it all come together so maybe we can actually experience peace and joy and hope, maybe for the first time in a long time. So teach us about your son, Jesus. It's in his name I pray. Amen. Hey, really glad you're here. This week we are in like week 2 of a series we started last week called The Road to Here. And if you're new to Flatirons, this is how we teach. We teach in series, and then usually what we do is we try to find like a theme that runs all the way through this series. And we do that because that's the way Jesus liked to teach a lot of times. He wanted to teach us about God and teach us about spiritual things, but a lot of times when that felt really unfamiliar, what he would do is he would take something we already knew about, like in our everyday lives, he'd talk about that, then connect it with this thing having to do with God, all right? And he goes, you see how they're kind of the same? So he's talking to fishermen. He says, following God's kind of like, fishing. Or he's talking to shepherds. He would say, it's kind of like God's the shepherd and we follow God like sheep. And it all made sense. And so this is the metaphor we're using in this series is this road. Like your life is this road. And last week it kind of went like this, is that you're here. And I don't know where you were an hour or two ago. It wasn't here. You were somewhere else. But you went on a journey. A lot of miles might have had to get covered between where you were and here, all right? Right turns and left turns and green lights and red lights and U-turns. And I didn't see that coming. Some of you stopped for gas, or you should have stopped for gas, whatever that is, all right? But whatever it is, the deep philosophy, you are here. Right? All right, that's deep, all right? And somebody's sitting going, I don't really want to be here. Tough, you're here, all right? Somebody going, I didn't even mean to be here. I thought this was Walmart. I got stuck in traffic and, I'm looking for, but you're here, all right? If someone would ask you like a year ago, do you think you'd ever sit in a place like here? You would go, not a million years, but here you are. You're here, right? And again, we're not just talking about this chair that you're here. We're talking about, that's a metaphor for my life, okay? Here's where we landed last week. This is your life, all right? This is your life, and your whole life leading up to this moment has landed right here where you have to look in the mirror and go, this is my life. All the right turns and left turns, all the wrong turns, whatever it is, all the choices you've made, choices other people made, and they ran into you. Some of you are on empty because you need to be filled up, but you're not. But whatever it is, right now, this is your life. So I don't want it to be my life, but it is. I thought my life would be different than this. Well, it's not. I want my life to be different. It might be someday, but it's not today. This is it. This is your life. You never thought in a million years this would be your life, but it is. So here's where we went last week, just to catch you up, or you can get online and watch this, but we're taking all the parts of our life and we're saying, listen, this is my life and I have something good going. I don't want to lose it. Or this is my life and I want something better. What do I need to do so I don't lose the good thing, or actually can have a hope of taking on to something better than I currently have? And so I don't have a better word for this, but we're running kind of any area of our life through filters or maybe some questions or at least some perspectives. We can take all of the parts of our life and run through these 3 things and see if maybe we have a chance or a shot of taking hold of something better. So whatever area of your life, your marriage, your family, your finances, your sexuality, whatever that is, you have to take that and go, you know what? I'm going to run it through this filter and see if maybe I have a chance at holding on to something better than I have, or not losing the good thing. So we started like this. First of all, you got to get honest with yourself, right? And that's called, you got to have a reality check. This is my life. It is. I mean, someday I hope it's different, but this is it right now. This is my marriage. This is what's going on with my mom. This is what's going on with my boyfriend. This is what's going on with whatever it is. You might wish it was different, but it's not. You got to start where you are. This is my life. It's like going to the mall and you're lost, and then you find one of those kiosks and you look for that little sign, that little dot that says, you are here. Reality check, I'm here. But you don't stop there. You take it on and go, okay, there's this thing called faith. What does Jesus say about this? What does Jesus say about what's true about that part of my life, about me? And what does Jesus say on my own is impossible, but with him, all things actually could be possible, right? What does God say about my marriage? What does he say about me? All right? Because all my life, this happened and this happened. And so I've concluded this is true about me. God comes along and goes, actually, that's not true about you. I know she treated you like that, but that's not true. And other things could be possible if you had me in my life, all right? So reality check and then faith. And then that leads to this $1 million question. Do I believe him? Do I believe what God says is possible? Do I believe what God says is true? Again, not on my own, but with him in my life. Do I really think that something like that could be possible for someone like me? Do I believe him? And you answer that with yes or no. And let me just tell you, if you answer that, yes, I believe, at that point, nothing changes in your life. Right? I mean, the church is full of people who say, oh, we believe all the right stuff, all right? And you can go like this, all right? I look at my life and my marriage and my whatever it is, and it is a mess. And then this is what Jesus says about that part of my life, and he says that this is true about me, and I agree with him. I believe it. I sing the songs. I believe all of that. But nothing changes. Why? Because you have to go into that next step. I need to do something different. I need to repent. If I really agree with what God says is possible and true about that part of my life and that it could change, I need to repent. What does that mean? It's a Bible word for I need to rethink that part of my life. I need to come up with a better strategy of how I'm going to live my life like from this chair on. I can't undo my past. It happened, all right? But now I'm sitting in this chair, and in a few minutes I'm going to get up out of this chair and live the rest of my life. What am I going to do from now on? What's my plan to get there? I am here. I want to go there. What do I need to do? What steps do I need to take? And here's where we went last week. God teaches us in the book of Hebrews, it's kind of like this. It's like a runner trying to run a race. And some of you are runners. I don't understand. They're cars. Drive, all right? Whatever that is, all right? And I don't know if it's a short race or a marathon or whatever that is, all right? But you are here and you want to go there. And you've tried it over and over and over, and some of us, we've tried this, and it never works. We either fall down, we get lost along the way, or it's just too far, and we just quit. And so the Bible says it's like a runner, and if he has any, or she has any hope of getting to that finish line and taking hold of that prize, something has to change back here in me. What do you mean? Well, a lot of us are carrying a lot of baggage. And if you ask any runner, especially a runner that runs a long way, the one thing, you don't bring luggage with you. Here I go, down 20. No, you don't do that. You say, listen, this is too hard. I can't carry that. It's going to crush me. So there's some stuff that we're carrying from our past, and if we keep on carrying it, we're never going to make it. We got to lay some stuff down. And then it goes on and says this, and we also have some stuff that's actually clinging to us. And what's clinging to us, the book of Hebrews says is that this is my life, and this is what God says is true about that part of my life and about me, and whatever that is, I just don't believe him. I believe something different than what God says is true. And by definition, if you are holding on to something different than what God says is true, that's called sin, right? I know that God says that's possible for me. I just don't think I'm worth it. I mean, I can't have a lot of value. Do you know how many people have walked out of my life? Do you know how many people have hurt me? Obviously, God is wrong about me, so things like that are impossible. And so you're holding on to things. And doesn't that explain a lot why I keep trying to run my race and over and over and over and over again, I just kind of put up a white flag and go, it's just too hard. Listen, if anything needs to change in our life, we got to get honest about it. Then we got to find out what Jesus says is true about it and agree with him. And then we need to make a strategy to get from where we are to where we want to be. Now, let's just take a time out here. Most of you are sitting here right now going, that's true. I agree with that, I don't even believe in God. And that handsome bald guy is true so far, right? And here's what I mean. It's like, that makes sense. If I'm here and I don't like this part of my life and there's something better, I need to do something about it, right? That makes sense. It sounds simple, and it is, but don't confuse the word simple and easy. Two different words. It's not complicated, it's just hard. It's very, 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 very hard, okay? Because I'll be honest, all right? Some of us this past week, we sat in here or listened online, and we went, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Some of you tried it this week, all right? It didn't go well. Here's what I mean by that, all right? So this is my life, or this is my marriage, and so here's what I'm going to do, and then this is what Jesus says is possible, and so you went home and you tried it, right? You ran your life through the filter. So how about this? Why is it that if step 1 is reality check, and step 2 is faith, and step 3 is make a strategy, why is always step 4 flat tire? or roadblock, or I got carjacked, whatever that is, I was doing my best, and then you know what? It got worse. I went out of here. I believe in Jesus. I'm going to do this. I'm going to lean into my marriage. I'm going to lean into being a better parent. I'm going to really address and attack my finances. Why is it that it got, right away, it got worse. It got harder, so much so that I'm so frustrated and so angry right now. It's like, what's the point? It's like, I just can't do this. And by Tuesday, a lot of us said, I'm not even going to try anymore. I'll give you an example. It's not a good example. It's just an example out of my life, all right? So I told you back in November, I went through a really dark time, all right? I had surgery on my shoulder, all right? And before I had surgery on my shoulder, I used to go to the gym like every day, like 5-6 days out of the week. Don't judge me. I did that a lot, okay? But I had surgery on November 8th. I haven't gone to the gym since October, all right? So I decided it's time, all right? So I went back to the gym on Monday. Didn't go well. All right? Well, when I say I went back to the gym, I mean this. I went into the gym. 3 times previously, I've gone to the gym, sat in my truck, looked at the door, and went, not feeling it. And then I went home, all right? I did that. But this time I actually went into the gym. I went inside, all right? And I got my locker, and I had my stuff on, and my headphones and all that. And I go upstairs, and I go over to this machine. And where normally I put the pin in like 180 pounds, on Monday I put it in at 12 and a half. That was really judgmental. That was a lot, 12 and a half, all right? See what I'm working with, Lord? All right, so I do that, and I'm like, this is just bad, and it hurt. I was getting nauseous, and then I look over, and there's this 90-year-old man, and he's doing 80 pounds, and I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna die, because you're old, and that's not nice, but that is what I thought, all right? And so I'm really, really depressed, and finally I do about half a workout, and I go downstairs, and I'm walking to the locker room, and I'm getting ready to go to the shower, and I look over, and I'm shocked because there's this naked, hairy, pregnant woman in my locker, and I realize that's me in the mirror, and I'm like, and that'll mess with you, and try to get that image out of your mind. Go ahead, good luck with that, all right? Right, I ask my wife all the time, she goes, no, you look good. And she lies, but I love her. And all right, so it just didn't go well, and I'm depressed. I get in my truck, and I'm driving home, and I'm like, I'm not going to get back in shape. It's just not going to, it hurts, and I'm sore, and I'm kind of nauseous. And so on the way home, all right, so my gym's in Westminster. I live in Erie. There's this one intersection that I come to, and I got all these conversations going on in my head. Why try? It doesn't matter. You're just old, and you're going to die soon. Whatever that. I'm driving down the road. There's this one intersection. If you come to it, if you go straight ahead, I'll go home, and there's this awesome protein shake waiting for me at home. But if I turn right, it takes me right to Chick-fil-A drive-thru. And I've been there a lot. So much so is that when I pull up an order, they know my voice and go, my pleasure, Jim. They know me through the speaker. I've been there a lot. And so I'm driving down the road, and I'm thinking to myself, well, what difference does it make? What's one more chicken biscuit on top of this, all right? I'm just driving down the road, and I'm like, I want to quit. And you feel like, you know what I'm feeling like, right? All right? And that's nothing, all right? Don't feel sorry. You can feel sorry for me if you want to, but that's nothing compared to what some of us in this room are going through, right? I've heard some of your stories. Well, listen, I went home, and I sat down with my husband or my wife, and I said, hey, I really want to try to do better. And they looked back at me and went, no, too late. I went home and I tried to talk to my daughter. I tried to talk to my mom. I tried to talk to my friend, whatever. And, no, I tried to reach out to my dad, and he was drunk. I mean, it just got worse. And I'm thinking, why? Why even try? Why even bother? Here's what I do when I get in a situation like that, where I'm doing my best and it's not getting better. I look at God and I pray prayers like this. I thought, prayed this? I thought if I tried to do the right thing, the thing that you said was true, the thing that you said was possible, and you give me the power to make impossible things possible. I thought maybe you'd help me. And it doesn't feel like you're even paying attention. I'm doing my best, and I'm doing this because you said this is right and true and leads to a good place. And I'm gonna tell you, God, listen, thanks for nothing. I can't do this. I don't even want to do this. Now, here, hang with me, all right? Remember back in the Christmas series, we were talking about Mary and Joseph and how when that angel first probably appeared to them, they're like, whoa, run, right? But they said, okay, God, we trust you, and we're going to follow you down this path. And God used them in great ways. But you have to think, Mary's 9 months pregnant, right? She's on a donkey, goes all the way to Bethlehem. I don't know how far that was. They get there. They look for a hotel room. They can't find one. If I'm Mary, I'm out there in the street looking up at heaven going, really? Really, creator of the universe, You can't find one room, right? And by the way, this is your kid. I'm just saying, I could use some help here, right? You ever felt like, just cut me a break? And you feel like you're on your own. And here's what I tie them as, like, the way a lot of us have been raised, every time we read the Bible, we think those people are different than us. Like they're cut out of a different cloth, or maybe they're tapped into something back then that we're not tapped into anymore. And so that, maybe it was possible for them, but not for us. But I promise you, if those people in the Bible somehow were sitting in this room right now, they would be going, I know. I pray prayers like that I feel like that all the time. Every person that I've found in the Bible that God has said, listen, this is true about you and I want to do something in your life. And every person looked back and God says, okay, I don't know where it goes, but I will follow you. As they were following God, they came to a point in their life where they went, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. I told you this isn't going to work. And a lot of them just said, this is not what I signed up for. And they went back to what they were doing before. Almost everyone. Right? I'll give you an example of that. If you've been to church more than a couple of times, maybe even on Easter, you've heard this story. We're going to talk about this guy named Peter quite a bit, but probably one of the most famous stories, there's two of them. This one is on the Thursday night before Jesus was crucified, Jesus and his disciples are in this upper room and they're having the Passover meal. And in the middle of that meal, Jesus announces, one of you is going to betray me, all right? And Peter stands up. I love Peter. He doesn't think diarrhea of the mouth. It just comes out, all right? And I can identify with that some, all right? Peter stands up at dinner and goes, listen, Lord, if everybody else turns their back on you, I won't. I'll never leave you. I'll die for you. I'll go to the grave with you. And you got to think, Jesus is going, yeah, let's see. And by breakfast the next morning, Peter had denied him 3 times. 3 times, Peter had told a group of people or an individual, I don't know him. He even cussed out a little girl. There's courage, all right? I tell you, I don't know him. And then he has this aha moment and goes, see, I told Jesus he was wrong about me. I can't do this. And he went back. He went back to his hometown and I'm just that's all I'll ever be. And then the rest of the story is Jesus comes and gets him and goes, no, I'm not done with you. Come on. And then Peter does great things in his life. But I feel like that a lot, don't you? I tried. I told you this will not work. I want to give you one more story out of Peter's life. Matthew chapter 14. Matthew is the gospel, or it's a biography that a guy named Matthew wrote. In all 3 of our campuses, there are free Bibles in the back. And I didn't buy them. Somebody else, thank you, whoever bought those Bibles. But if you want a Bible and you don't have one and you want to I want to read more about that, pick up a Bible or go get one on your way out. But we're in Matthew chapter 14. Let me kind of set this up for you, okay? So Jesus has, people are following him more and more and more. He has 12 disciples that travel around Israel with him. He's out in this field, and all day long, he's got this big crowd, really, really big crowd. We'll find out later it's like 5,000 people, all right? Big crowd, and they're listening to him, and Jesus is teaching. He's teaching about God and about how the kingdom and the power of God is available to anybody, no matter what they've done, and that their sin can be taken away. He's teaching them all these really, really wonderful things. And it's getting late in the day, and Matthew chapter 14 says that one of the disciples, and I don't know which one, so I'm just going to go with Peter, because this is a typical Peter type of thing to do, all right? So Jesus is up there teaching all these people, thousands of people, and Peter sneaks up behind him and goes, excuse me, Lord, could I have a moment, all right? And so he brings Jesus over and he goes, so I don't know if you noticed, Jesus, but it's late. And all these people, they are hungry, and there are no restaurants close by, and they didn't bring any food, and we have a little food, but we don't want to share. So you need to send these people home. This is what you need to do, Jesus. Listen, anytime any story starts with somebody giving advice to Jesus, stay tuned, all right? Because it's gonna get good. So Jesus looks at him, and it's like Jesus going, oh, I didn't notice. Thank you, Peter. What do you think we ought to do? No, he looks at Peter and goes, you feed him. You feed him. I'm sure Peter said, you're not paying attention, Lord. There's a lot of people, we don't have any food. Well, Jesus says, well, what do you have? And Peter looks around, mugs a little kid, give me your lunch, all right? And he has 2 fish and 5 pieces of bread. Give them to me. What do you have? And give it to me. He takes them, and a lot of you have heard this story before. He takes them, he prays over him, and he says, now pass it out. And they start breaking off fish and bread and stuff like that, and everybody gets fed. They're full, so much so that they get baskets, and they take up all the leftovers. There's 12 big basketfuls of leftovers, all right? And this goes over great. They're like, yay, Jesus. Yay, Jesus. We worship you. You're awesome, Jesus. You're the Son of God. And then there's a little meeting over the side. He goes, we should make him like king. We should make him like president. Can you imagine having a king that anytime we're hungry, he just goes, and we have food on the table. We vote for Jesus. So we want him to be our king. And Jesus knows all this is going on. So he looks at his 12 disciples, and this is what he says. Get in a boat. Get in the boat. But Lord, look, what's happened? No, just get in the boat. Why? You get in the boat and sail to the other side. I'm going to wrap things up here, and I'll meet you over there. At which point, you got to think Peter goes, that's not how it works, right? So I'm a fisherman, I'm a sailor, and that's a lake. So this is my territory, right? So thanks for the miracle on land, but this is my territory, right? So we're going to sail across, and you're going to be, listen, we can get over there, we'll be there by morning. If you decide to walk around this lake, it's going to take days and days and days, all right? And Jesus looks at him and goes, get in the boat. It says he commanded them to get in the boat, and so they do. Let's pick it up. Immediately, he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, Jesus was there alone, but the boat by this time was a long way from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. Now, let me paint this picture, all right? So the way that this lake, all right, if you could Google map it, even right now on your phone, you look down because the lake's still there. It's about 8 miles wide. It's called the Sea of Galilee, all right? It's about 8 miles wide and about 20 or 30 miles long, okay? But the way it's situated, it's right at the base of this mountain range. And every once in a while, that lake can be really, really, really calm, and you can be fishing out there, and it's all great. But the way these mountains are is that, and you don't know what's going to happen, wind will come down from those mountains, and we know that. I mean, it happens here all the time. Wind will come down from those mountains through those valleys, hit that lake, and it was like clear as glass, and all of a sudden, it's like a hurricane. And Peter is a fisherman, and he is a sailor, and he knows you do not want to be out here on this lake when this is happening, because I know people who are at the bottom of this lake. You do not want to be out here. And again, you got to be thinking, why did he send us out here? Did he not know? I mean, maybe we were wrong. You ever find yourself in a storm going, well, maybe I was wrong. Let's get back to this, all right? So, and then the fourth watch, so this is like the middle of the night. In the fourth watch of the night, Jesus came to them walking on the sea. Now time out right here, okay? How many have heard that story before? How many have ever heard this story before in any form, all right? So we read that and we go like, yeah. You're walking on the water, yeah, all right. Like it happened every day. Like we're going, yeah, that was real common back then. People walked on water. No one had ever done that. We look at it and go like it's on the news. Today the weather will be like this and I-25 will be crowded. Jesus walked on the water and the Broncos hire a new coach. And you're like, what? Rewind, right? No one had ever done this before. No one had a category for walking on the water. This was new. And you got to think, if I was in that boat and there comes somebody, all right, it freaks me out. Do you ever watch like that David Blaine guy on TV? It creeps me out, and he has things go through him and he levitates and I'm like, it's Satan, run. It's like it gets tears in my eyes. And you got to think if I'm in that boat, I'm out there and then I look out there and I'm like, what? And I hope Jesus messed with them a little bit, right? Because if I was Jesus, I'd be like, ahoy, right? Have you seen my boat? I had one, it's gone. Can I use yours? Now, I don't know what it is, but they didn't think it was funny. Look at this, all right, so. Don't you love my commentary? This is what you pay me to do, all right? So. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were, understatement, terrified and said, it's a ghost. And I bet there's another word in there the Bible left out. There's a ghost out there, all right? And they cried, that's Jesus, that's probably just me, all right? So, and they cried out in fear, but immediately Jesus spoke to them saying, take heart, it is I, do not be afraid. Really? Right? Do not be afraid. Now, again, time out here. Why do you think Jesus walked on the water? Why do you think he did this? Think about it. Do you think Jesus walked on the water because it was plan B? Like I sent him out there and then, I didn't see that storm coming. Better save him. And then he walks out on the water. Do you think that's the plan? See, I don't. I think that Jesus knew all along. Could get in the boat, storm is on his way. Right? So this didn't like catch Jesus by surprise. Here's what I think. I can't prove this, but here's what I think. I think Jesus is going to teach them something. See, it is really easy to say, yay, God, I trust Jesus. He's awesome, and he can do the impossible things when you're on dry land with a full stomach, right? When everything's going your way, praise God. This is great. I'm so glad I'm following Jesus. It's so easy to praise Jesus when your stomach's full and all your needs are met on dry land. It is another thing to go, yay, Jesus, I can trust him when you're in a boat that's sinking and you're surrounded by a storm and you have no idea what's about to happen next. So let's go on. Look at this. Peter answered him. So it's like, don't be afraid. It's me, all right? And Peter answered him, Lord, if it's you, I'll come back to that. If it's you, command me to come to you on the water. And, I read that and I go, Peter, really? I mean, who else? That's the dumbest question, right? Who else was that? And you got to think Jesus is out there going, work with me, all right? Remember if Scott talked about having conversations in your head sometimes, all right? I wonder if Jesus is out there on the waves going, seriously? Right? I just fed all those people. I'm walking on water, all right? Sometimes I think maybe he's out there going, Father, really? I'm going to turn the church over to him, right? I'm going to leave him in charge. Okay, all right. So in part of it, I'm thinking, what a dumb question. On the other hand, I think, what a great question. Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you because I'm in a boat and I'm not doing well. So if it's you, I want to be where you are. Tell me how to do that. You see what he just did there? 3 filters. This is my life. I'm in a boat. Nobody gets out of this boat alive. If I stay here, I'll die. So I'm looking for truth, all right? Is that you? Because if it's you, I'm here and you're over there. I want to be where you are. So tell me how to get there. What do I need to do to be with you? What's the strategy? And here's the strategy, all right? Jesus said, come. So Peter got out of the boat and let it sink in and walked on the water and came to Jesus. Quiz time. He got out of the boat and what? He walked on water, okay? Peter walked on water. Who else ever walked on water? Jesus and no one. No one. So, okay. Stretch out, whatever that is, all right? Peter stepped over the edge of the boat and he's like, I'm walking on water. Right, there's a fish. There's a big fish right there. I'm walking on water. This is, and he's doing it. He's doing it, and he's looking at Jesus like, look, and Jesus is like, you're doing good there, buddy. Right? And he's walking on water for a while. And then there's that big wave over there, and the wind's blowing really, really hard. And I think he started thinking, like, what I do is like, people like me don't do this. This isn't real. This isn't possible. No one would believe that someone like me, I am walking on water. And look at that wave. And he started to sink. Look at this. But when Peter saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus reached out his hand, took hold of him, saying to him, oh, you have little faith. Why did you doubt? I've always read that story like Jesus was mad at him. Like, way to go, Peter. Come on, try harder. You should have more faith. What's wrong with you? Because sometimes I think that's what Jesus would say to me. Really? You messed up again? Why? Well, where's your faith? I mean, you've been a Christian for all, but actually, I don't think that's what Jesus meant at all. I don't think he was mad at him. I don't think he chastised him. I don't think he yelled at him like he should try better or try harder or do better. See, here's what I think, okay? And I can't prove this, but it's consistent with what I know about Jesus. And this is going to make sense to some of you who've ever tried to do this. Have you ever tried to teach a little kid how to ride a bike? Right? It's rough, right? Maybe it's your kid or your grandkid or your neighbor's kid, whatever that is, your little brother, little sister, right? So remember what you did? So you explain. So this is a bike, and so what I want you to do is I want you to put your hands here, and I'll put your feet on the pedal, all right? I want you to look straight ahead, and you start pedaling, and I got you. And you ran up and down the side, right? How many times? Miles and miles, and like, come on, Junior, right? You ran up and down, and they got better, and they got better and better, and finally, remember that day? And they're like, and they're going, all right? And they're like, I'm riding a bike. You're riding a bike, right? And they're doing great until they realize you let go of their seat like 2 driveways back. They're like, I'm riding a bike. No, and right, boom, and then they crash into a car or their brother or whatever that is, and they're this pile of child in a driveway, and they're crying, and remember what you did? Here's what I hope you didn't do. I hope you didn't run up to them and go, really? I'm not mad, it's just a disappointment. I mean, you're 4, grow up. Why can't you be like your sister? She nailed us after 2 tries, all right? Yeah, no, I hope that's not, if you did that, call the church Monday, all right? Get a counselor, because that's bad parenting, all right? That's bad, all right? I hope that's not what you did. Here's what I hope you did or what you will do, all right? Your kid is, they're piled up and maybe bleeding a little bit, and they're like mad, like, I can't believe you let go. And you go up and go, hey, buddy, you let go. I know. Buddy, listen, you did it. What? You were riding a bike. Oh, you have crashed. Oh, no, listen. You were doing so great, but I fell down. I know, that's all right. You're this close. Next time you got this. And that's what I think Jesus probably whispered into Peter's ear. Oh, buddy, come on. Oh, you were doing so good. Look, you walked on water. It's me and you, we're in the club. Nobody else, right? Right? You walked on water. It's like, yeah, I did. Hey, next time, but you got this. So then they go back to the boat. Look at this. And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshiped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. Yeah, it's easy now. Yeah, after everything is over, absolutely, you are the Son of God. Right. You're dry, right. That's just it. Peter walked on water. And you got to think this, all right? Because we've studied these disciples before, and a lot of us think like they're these old, wise people. They're probably like 17, 18, 19 years old. Jesus is in his early 30s, all right? So in me, this is what I see in my mind, is that they get to the other side of the lake, they build a campfire, they dry out their clothes, and then it's time to go to bed, all right? And so all these guys, these high school guys are laying in their sleeping bags or whatever it was back then, and somebody, because if you've ever been to camp, it always happens like this, somebody goes, hey, Peter, what? Dude, you freaking walked on water. Oh, wow, I did. And then Judas says, but then he sank. Shut up, Judas. What did you do? They went back and forth. And then camp counselor Jesus said, boys, go to sleep. Because that's how it works, all right? In my mind. Right? Judas is always a downer. But all right, so that's it. Now, here's why I'm telling you this story, and this is how it connects to our real lives today. Because people don't change. And God doesn't change. So that has to mean something now. Well, what do you mean? Well, let's go back to that fish and loaves things, all right? There's a lot of us right now. Here's what's going on in our head and heart. I have a lot of people in my life that need me to provide for them, feed them, give them things that they can't get for themselves, and they are looking to me to say, I need you to give me what I need, and you're broke. I don't have enough. I can't make ends meet, and all these people are looking at me like we're expecting you to take care of us, and you're sitting there going, I don't have anything. I can't do this. I can't fulfill the needs. I have this company, and everybody's looking at me like I'm supposed to have the answers. I don't know what to do. I have these kids. I have this whatever it is, and I'm in way over my head, and everybody's looking at me like I'm supposed to figure things out, and I'm empty. I got nothing. I'm broke in all areas that you can be broken. What Jesus would do, he'd look and go, well, what do you have? And the answer is not a lot. Certainly not enough. What do you have? Give it to me. And when those disciples gave Jesus that fish and bread, do you think in any way they thought, watch this? He's going to do what he did, last time? There's never been a last time. They didn't have a category for this. I don't think they were over the, what's the over-under on baskets of leftover. I don't think they were doing that. I think they were going, what are you going to do with this little bit? We can't figure it out. And guess what? Jesus never told them to try to figure it out, right? He just says, what do you have? Give it to me. You do what you can do, and I'll do the impossible part, right? And that's all he tells us to do today. I've tried to do this, and she won't cooperate. Well, what can you do? This? Well, I got the rest. Just give that to me. Well, I'm trying to be better in this part of my life. It just doesn't work very well. Okay, well, what can you have? What do you have? What can you do? Just this I'm trying. Do that, and I'll do the impossible part. It's the same thing out there on the boat. Think about this. Jesus sent them out onto a lake in a boat knowing a storm was about to come, right? So one of two things was going on in Jesus' mind. Either he was hoping they were good enough rowers, or they were smart enough or strong enough to figure it out, because otherwise he has to go find 12 other guys. I mean, right, that's one option. Or he knew what was about to happen, and he knew that if they would just keep their eyes fixed on him, on the other side of what's about to happen, the result would be, I really can trust you. You can make impossible things possible, and they'll worship God. Hey, go back. How is it that Peter walked on water? How is that possible? Let me tell you, it's not because Peter had figured it out. It's not like in another hidden chapter of the Bible, Peter found a swimming pool and he'd been practicing, like, I got that, I can nail this. And on the boat, he's going, I hope Jesus gets, because I'm going to shine. This is my moment, all right? No, he never walked on water. He didn't know how to walk on water. He wasn't even good at walking on water. And the reason he started sinking is not because he made a water walking mistake. He was doing fine until he tripped over that ripple he didn't see, and then he fell, and that's why no. He walked on water because Jesus told him to. That's how he was able to do it. He fixed his eyes on Jesus and went, I don't understand. I don't have a category for this. I'm just going to fix my eyes on you, and I'm going to start walking towards you. And the reason he started sinking is not because he made a mistake in water walking. It's not because Jesus is good for most things, but not for that size of wave. No. He started sinking because he took his eyes off of Jesus. And that's why he started to sink. right? And it's the same with us. This is what I tell Jesus. I'm out there on the waves, and I'm looking around. I'm going, you got me this far, but what about that? And you see the size of that way. And I tell Jesus that all the time. Jesus, I can't do this anymore. Ever prayed that prayer, right? You've done your best. You've done everything you know to do, and it's getting worse. The storm's getting worse. And you're just going, I'm tired. I have tried for 10 years, and he's not going to change. You know, she holds this over me every time. I tried my best, but I just can't get out from under the pressure. I'm just exhausted. I've tried. I'm just done. And how about this, Jesus? Why does it have to happen this way? Pray this way. Lesson learned. I get your point. Why do you have to do it this way? Why don't you just make it stop? Why do you have to do it this way? Why did Jesus have to do that? The whole storm, why? Why that way? Why is what's going on in your life, why does it have to be this way? Now, I'm going to give you an answer. It probably won't be really satisfying, but here's an answer. And go back to the bike riding thing, all right? How do you learn to ride a bike? You can read a book about bike riding, and I recommend that, but you're not a bike rider because you read all the books there are about bike riding, even the best ones. You can watch a video about bike riding. That doesn't make you a bike rider, all right? You can sit on your porch and watch everybody else and study how everybody else is riding a bike. That doesn't make you a bike rider. The only way you become a bike rider is if you get on a bike, grab those handlebars, and start pedaling. That's the only way. And I think that Jesus is saying the only way Peter or you or I will ever know that it is possible to walk on water is to be in a storm, and he says, come, and we're willing to get out of the boat and walk on water and fix our eyes on him. Because we just can't learn any other way. And so here it is. I'm here in this boat, and this is my life, and Jesus is over there, and I want to be where he is. And he says, come, and so I'm going to get out of this boat, and I'm going to walk on water, and I don't understand how this is even possible. I'm just going to fix my eyes on him. And let me tell you this, all right? If you decide to do that, a storm will hit your life. Well, what if I do it exactly right? A storm will hit your life, and you'll be doing fine. And then you'll look around, and you'll go, oh, look at that wave, look at that, and what about this? And Jesus, you got me this far back. How do I know you're not going to turn your back on me out here in the middle? And so you're going to either start to sink, or here's what I try to do a lot of times. It's like, I'm going back to what I had before, and you'll try to get back to the boat, which the last time we saw the boat, it was sinking. But we don't really think about that. I got to get back. This is too hard. Scott and I were joking earlier this week is that sometimes on baptism weekend, we should put a disclaimer out there. Or think about this before you get baptized, all right? Because if you get baptized, if you said, I'm going to follow Jesus, all right, I can almost promise the next couple weeks are going to get rough. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. It's like Satan looks at you and goes, no, you get back in your lane. You stay back in your old life. You are not allowed to make any, right? And so you try to walk towards Jesus and make some steps in your spiritual life. It's like you get slammed over and over and over. It's like going on a diet. You ever try to go on a diet? It's like you try to go on a diet, and that's when you get invited to everybody's birthday party, right? And they're having lasagna, so you have to go, all right? Or King Soopers has a sale on pork rinds, and I got to have them, right? But Monday, right? It's the same thing. If you make any decision in your life about the important part of your life, it needs to change. It needs to be different. I'm telling you, it'll get worse. I just don't want you to get hijacked by the storm, all right? If you say, we are really going to work on our marriage, it's going to be a rough week, month, year, decade. I don't know, but it's just because you love Jesus and you have faith and you want your marriage to line up with him, that doesn't mean it's going to be an easy path. If you go to your kids, you later and go, hey, we're going to make some changes in our house, it's not going to go well. If you decide I'm going to get sober, I'm not going to drink that anymore, I'm not going to smoke that anymore, I'm not going to watch this, whatever. Let me just tell you, again, I don't care how much faith you have. The cravings don't go down at first. They go through the roof. They just do. See, changing anything important in your life, the waves, the storm, will always get bigger and more fierce before it gets better. And here's a spoiler alert, in case you're not depressed enough, all right? How about this? And just when you think they're doing well, here comes another one. Anybody relate to that? So we went through a rough spell, and we thought we had it all together, and then boom, it happened again. And you're going to want to quit, and you want to, I can't do this. 2 weeks ago, I wasn't here. I went back to Indiana, and I visited my mom. Scott preached, and last week I got online and I listened to the talk that I had missed. And I'd read it before, but when he delivered it, it's just awesome. Go back and listen to it. But he was going through this one little chapter of the Bible in the book of Psalms, and the writer of that was talking about he's going through a really, really hard time in his life, and this is what kind of the whole theme of this was this question he kept asking himself: why so downcast, O my soul? Why is life so hard? Why am I so depressed? Why am I just so overwhelmed with life? Why so downcast, oh my soul? And then he would answer his own question. Put your hope in God. Put your hope in God. Meaning this is that, why am I so downcast about what's going on in my marriage? Because you put your hope in her. She can't deliver that. All right? Only God can. I'm going to work on my marriage. I'm going to put my hope in God. I'm trying to work this out with my daughter. Why isn't it working? Because you put your hope in that book you read about getting along with your daughter, or trying to get sober, and why isn't it working? Because you're putting hope in 12 steps, or you're putting hope in your own willpower, or somebody to keep you accountable. And look, you can't put hope in anything except God. I'm going to work my steps. I'm going to put my hope in God. That's our only hope, right? So that got me thinking this past week, and I was trying to, what is a word that kind of sums up how I feel when I'm praying that prayer, like, really, come, God, I'm doing my best here. It's not working. It's not going to work. It's impossible. What is a word that would describe that? And I found this word, despair. Despair. You ever feel like, and despair by definition is this, to be overwhelmed and sure of defeat. This isn't going to work. I'm not strong enough. It's too big. And I'm a Bible nerd. Again, that's why you pay me for it, right? So I have this software, and I plugged in the word despair, and it's found like 47 times in the Old Testament. And almost every time that the word despair is used in that part of the Bible, a person or a group of people are standing and they're looking at an enemy or an army or whatever that's so overwhelming, they're looking and going, listen, we're beat. They will crush us. We're this big and they're that big, and there's just no way that we can overcome that. We should run. I'm in total despair. I'm absolutely sure I'm about to get crushed. But every time that somebody was in despair or dismayed about what was in front of them, the answer always came back the same way. It goes like this: do not be dismayed. Do not be in despair. Same word, right? Do not be dismayed. Why not? Look at the enemy. Look at what is in front of me. It's going to crush me. No, do not be dismayed. Why? Because the Lord is with you. Here's the other message. If the Lord's not with you, you should be dismayed. Right? If you're going to try to do this on your own, you know what? Despair is very, very real. It actually lines up because you're not strong enough to do that. Otherwise, you would have already done it. So don't be dismayed because the Lord is with you. David, I love this story. David, again, you don't know 3 Bible studies. You know this one, David and Goliath. David is standing in the middle of the valley. Everybody else is hiding in the rocks. And he looks at this big, giant of a soldier who's just taunting him. He goes, whoa, listen, I'm not afraid. And he looks over his shoulder at the soldiers. Don't be dismayed. And this is what he says, because the battle is the Lord's. So before a shot is fired, all right, he looks at Goliath and goes, we already beat you. We already win, right? Because the battle is the Lord's, and we're not out here by ourselves. If we're out here by ourselves, shepherds and big soldiers, it's the soldier wins every time. But the Lord is with me, so here we go. So I'm here. This is my life, this is my marriage, this is my finances, this is my whatever it is going on in my life. This is what Jesus says is better and true, and I want that, and I agree with him. I want that. And I'm going to work my strategy. I'm going to fix my eyes on Jesus. I'm going to get out of the boat, and it just seems crazy. And everybody else would say you should never gotten in the boat in the first place, or just stay in the boat. It's better than the storm, right? And no, I'm going to get out of the boat. I'm going to fix my eyes on Jesus. I'm going to start walking towards him. And when, not if, but when the storm hits your life, you're going to fix your eyes on Jesus. And when, not if, but when you make a mistake and you take your eyes off going, this is too hard and I can't do this. Look at that wind over there. And you start to sink. Jesus will reach out to you and he won't yell at you. He won't condemn you. He won't even judge you. He will take you by the hand. He'll say, I got you. I still have you. You're doing good. You're close. Now let's keep on doing this together. So this is my life. I'm fixing my eyes on Jesus. Right? So this is how we're going to close. All right? So you're going, finally, it's lunch. All right, so sometimes, again, the only thing that keeps you walking is not because the person in your life that you really want to get closer to is responding or your money's getting different or anything is getting different. It's like, that's Jesus and that's what I want. That's the finish line. That's the goal. That's the prize. Last week we taught you a new song. We're going to sing it again right now and we're going to sing it again next week. Hope you like it because we're going to sing it a lot. But the picture is I'm running my race and that's the finish line if I can just get there. And the prize is pictured in the Bible as like a crown. There's this crown, and it's like, I did it. God, with God's help, impossible things, and I have this crown, but eventually we're going to stand in front of Jesus. Can you imagine? Someone's going to walk up to Jesus, and like, hey, Jesus, all right? Someone's going to crawl up there, someone's going to limp up there. I don't know how we're going to get up there, and we're going to go, here. All that was only made possible because you held me together. You took my hand and I fell down and I sank so many. I did my best. I tried to keep my eyes on you. I tried to work this out. And you know what? And it blew up anyway, but I kept my eyes on you. And I thought I couldn't survive that, but I did because I kept my eyes on you. And so this is for you. It's a crown and I lay it at your feet and I worship you. Sometimes that is the only thing that'll keep you going, right? So let's stand up. I'm going to pray. We're going to sing this song. And then let me tell you what comes after amen in the song. You know what comes after that? The rest of your life. Right? Where do you want to go from here? So God, without apology, we come to you as our Father because the Bible tells us that we can. We say, Father, I need more strength. I don't have enough. I need more grace. I need more courage. I need more wisdom. I need things that I don't have to face what I'm facing. And so I need you in my life because I on my own, I'm dismayed and I'm in despair, but I'm not alone. I'm out here in this boat and you're over there and my boat is sinking. And so God, I'm gonna fix my eyes on your son, Jesus, and I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna walk until I finally one day, I walk up to you and I'm here. And you're gonna look back at me, well done. So God, anybody in this room right now that is asking you for this thing that they need so they can go do the thing that you say is right and true and good, I pray that you just pour it out on them. Just fill them up with it right now. They walked in here empty and we're walking out of here going, I can do this because I don't have to do it by myself because the Lord is with me. The Lord is with me. So we worship you, Jesus. It's in your name we pray. Amen.